Hi, thanks for joining me today. I've got an exciting video for us lined up here. It's a subject matter that I'm very passionate about. And today's subject is, do you need a DAC? So we're going to go over a few different things here. We're going to start with what is a DAC? And a DAC is a digital audio converter, and they can be found in pretty much every single desktop computer, laptop computer, smartphone, tablet, music audio player, CD player, stereo system. So they're all going to have a digital audio converter inside. And most people will then question, what's the point of buying an external DAC if my laptop or desktop already has a DAC inside, or my smartphone? I listen to music on my smartphone. I don't need a DAC, right? Most of the time, that's true. You won't really need a DAC, but you might want one. And when are these moments where you might need an external DAC? All right, so one scenario that I would say you would need an external DAC is if you're listening to music on your smartphone or your laptop or desktop computer and you hear like a buzzing noise when there's no music playing, or you're hearing cell phone like signals, like Wi-Fi signals coming in and causing noise interference in your audio. You might want to get an external DAC at that point, because the problem with the internal DACs is that the chips are on the same motherboard as the rest of the parts inside that laptop. So there's going to be a lot of electrical interference within the laptop, the computer, and since they're all on the same board, that electrical interference is going to come over and cause the signal to noise ratio to be a lot higher than it needs to be. So when you do get an external DAC, one of the first things you're probably going to notice is that it's a lot quieter during the quiet parts of songs. You're just going to hear the tape hiss pretty much. Either the tape hiss or the hiss of the room that the person was in. The air conditioner, you're going to be able to hear that. And if you stop the track, it should be pure silence. That's an indicator of a quality DAC. Other reasons why you might want to get an external DAC instead of just using the one internally is if, let's say, you have a pair of high-powered headphones, like a $5,000 pair of Audiophile LCD5s. You're not going to plug those directly into this phone or into the laptop and get amazing sound. It's probably not even going to be able to push those drivers properly enough to get you those bassy, thick, warm sounds that you really want, like where you feel like you have two subwoofers beside your head and it's just really pounding you with bass. You're not going to really be able to get something like that from an onboard DAC. And there's two reasons for that. One reason is the onboard DACs on the laptops, desktop computers, they have a very weak amplifier, and it's just not going to give enough power to the headphones to be able to have them reach their full potential, be able to get super high frequencies and super low frequencies. You're going to be sort of cutting out some of those frequencies. You're also going to be running into just the quality of the music coming through out of the onboard DACs is just not going to be worth like you spent $5,000 on a pair of headphones, but then you're going to be listening to them with the onboard DAC. It just doesn't make sense, right? So another scenario where you might want to have an external DAC is if you're using studio monitors, and you'll want to have like a DAC with a volume knob on it that has the XLR outputs that go to the studio monitors. You're not going to find that on an internal DAC on your laptop or desktop computer, unfortunately. So now that we've gone over reasons why someone might want to get an external DAC, we can talk about the sonic differences between different DACs a little bit. So some people will say like every DAC is going to sound the same, or there's no significant differences between the different brands and their sound signatures. But I'm here to say that there is very much a huge difference between different brands and their house sound signature. So, for example, I have the Chord Hugo 2 here. This is my preferred DAC to use when I'm listening on headphones and I'm maybe outside or I'm going to work and I can't take a giant DAC with me. So this is a nice little transportable DAC amp combo. So it's a DAC and a headphone amp. You got all the outputs and inputs right there. Volume knob. So now that I've introduced this DAC, I can talk about a little bit about the sound signature from Chord. What I find is with Chord DACs, I hear a lot of instrument separation. So every instrument, every sound is coming from somewhere within the three-dimensional space. And you can really point out where it is in that space. And it sounds weird, but it's like you can hear the air that is around each individual musician. You can like tell where they are in the 3D space. It's almost like a virtual reality experience for your ears. So I find that the Chord DAC has a good separation, has really pleasant sounding sound signature. It's smooth. It's not harsh at all, but you get all the high frequency information that you need. And the bass is nice and deep. Such amazing separation. So when I talk about separation, I'm comparing this to some other DACs that I have. So I have like the ADI DAC from RME. That's another nice DAC. I use that one on my desktop computer with my studio monitors just to listen to my mixes, and when I'm mixing and recording music, I'm using that DAC to listen back. What I find the differences between the DACs is some of them have more of that separation. Some of them just have very clean, they're very clinical sounding. Some of them are a lot of high frequency information that almost sounds astringent, like it's almost hurting your ears to listen to. So what you really want to do is you want to go to an audio show or go to a hi-fi shop and you want to try the different DACs, and you want to see, you can ask the person at the store, they're going to be knowledgeable about the different brands. You can ask them about the house sound signature of each different brand, and if that aligns with something that you're interested in listening to. So some brands like the Sabre DACs, the Sabre chips in some DACs have a lot of high frequency information, and some people find those DACs chips kind of harsh. I haven't really listened to any Sabre DACs, but I do have the AKG DACs, DAC chips in most of my other DACs, and AKG has like a very smooth, it's almost like neutral and kind of boring sounding, but it's good. And then we can talk about DAC chips. We'll talk about the Chord Hugo 2. They use their own internally developed DAC chip using an FPGA. So that's a chip that you get to program yourself. You would program whatever you want the chip to do. They've decided to use these chips just to process audio. So you're getting a really high quality audio experience, in my opinion. Yeah. What else do we need to talk about? I'm not sure. Conclusions. Let's go to the conclusions now, shall we? To conclude, what I would say is, yes, you do need a DAC. I need a DAC. If you're passionate about music creation, listening to music, or if you have aspirations of getting high-end equipment, it is a very good idea to get yourself a DAC. If you have any favorite DAC brands, feel free to mention them down in the comments. If you disagreed with anything I say, feel free to leave a message in the comments, and please like and subscribe. I hope you have a wonderful rest of your day, and I'll see you in the next video.